Have you ever stopped to wonder if the way you touch yourself today may no longer be the way your body truly needs it, especially after crossing 60? You are far from alone if you have. In fact, this is one of the most common questions I hear from older men. Not just about whether it is okay to continue pleasuring themselves, but how to do it safely, respectfully, and in a way that supports health rather than draining it. I am Dr. Sophia Carter, and I have worked with thousands of men just like you. Men who want to remain connected to their bodies, who want to stay confident in their sexuality, and who want to age with strength and dignity. And today we are going to explore something that is rarely spoken about, but so incredibly important: how to approach self-pleasure safely after 60 and the 3 big mistakes you must absolutely avoid. This is not about shame. This is not about performance. This is about protecting your circulation, your prostate, your hormones, and even your emotional well-being. So if you have ever felt uncertain about what is normal or safe, you are in the right place. Let us begin with why this even matters in the first place. First, I want to give you some reassurance. Masturbation is not only natural, it is genuinely healthy, and it remains important as we age. You see, as the years move forward, many men begin to question whether their body still needs this kind of release, or worse, they start to feel ashamed for still wanting it. But the truth is simple, gentle. Regular self-stimulation is one of the most effective ways to support male health beyond 60. It keeps blood flowing through the penis. It nourishes the prostate. It lowers stress hormones. It can even improve sleep quality by calming your nervous system. But here's the part most men miss. The way your body reacts to touch in your 60s, your 70s is very different from how it responded in your 20s or 30s. And there is no shame in that shift. It is not a weakness. It is not failure. It is simply biology. As we get older, our skin becomes thinner. The nerve endings that once fired instantly now need more gentle coaxing. Blood vessels, especially in sensitive areas, can be more reactive, more fragile, and more easily strained. This is why your approach to self-pleasure has to evolve along with your body. It is not about using more force or chasing intensity the way you might have when you were younger. It is about tuning in, being mindful, being patient, listening carefully to your body instead of treating it like a machine that needs fixing. When you slow down and engage with yourself in a more thoughtful way, the experience becomes not just more pleasurable, but far more supportive for your long-term health. Most men never hear this. Nobody tells them that their old patterns may no longer serve them, so they continue in the same way they always have, and then they end up frustrated, disconnected, or sometimes even bruised, both physically and emotionally. But once you realize that your body is asking for something different now, something slower, gentler, more nourishing, that is when things begin to change. That is when you open the door to a new kind of pleasure, one that feels more connected, more restorative, and more deeply satisfying. And this is where the first big mistake shows up. The first mistake so many men make, often without even realizing it, is rushing. And while it may seem like a small thing, I want you to stop and really consider it, because the impact of rushing through self-pleasure at this stage of life is greater than most men understand. A lot of older men treat masturbation like something they have to get over with. It becomes a rushed habit, done quickly with tension, often in silence and secrecy. But here is the problem. This kind of fast, tense stimulation can actually start working against you, especially after 60. Here is what really happens when you rush. Your nervous system stays in a state of alertness. Your blood vessels tighten instead of opening. Your heart rate might climb, but not in a healthy, relaxed way, more in a stressed, shallow breathing kind of way. Your brain stays on guard, scanning for interruption or distraction, and instead of receiving nourishing blood flow to the penis, your body stays tense. That tension prevents you from truly relaxing into sensation. The result? You may end up feeling unsatisfied. You may feel sore afterward. Or worse, you may notice it getting harder and harder to even reach arousal at all. When this becomes a repeated pattern, your body essentially learns to associate touch with tension rather than safety. It begins to expect stress instead of calm. And this means your arousal process, which should feel natural and enjoyable, instead comes mechanical, rigid, and far less responsive. The good news? This can absolutely be changed. And it begins with a very simple shift. Give yourself more time. Even just a few extra minutes to breathe deeply, to slow down, and to truly arrive in the moment can change the whole experience. You do not have to turn it into a spa ritual unless you want to. But by creating a little window where you are not distracted, not checking your phone, not waiting for someone to interrupt, you're telling your body it is safe to let go. And when the body feels safe, something beautiful happens. The blood vessels relax, the nerves awaken, the tissues become responsive again. That is when real satisfaction returns, not through speed, not through pressure, but through presence, through giving your body the gentle attention it has been asking for all along. The second mistake is also extremely common. Many men, often without even realizing it, begin to use too much pressure. This is something I cannot emphasize enough. As men grow older, especially beyond 50 or 60, many develop a habit of gripping too tightly or moving too aggressively during self-pleasure. Sometimes this comes from old habit. Sometimes it is because their body feels less sensitive, and they are simply trying harder to feel something. But while the intention makes sense, the result can actually do more harm than good in the long run. The penis is not just skin and muscle. It is made up of delicate sponge, like blood vessels, sensitive nerves, and connective tissue, designed to respond best to gentle, steady touch. When you apply a very tight grip repeatedly, you are creating friction, compression, and strain on those tissues. Over time, this can lower sensitivity because the nerves stop responding the way they used to. Some men even develop what is sometimes called death grip syndrome, where the body becomes trained to only react to one very specific type of stimulation, usually their own hand. This makes intimacy with a partner far more difficult, and it makes natural arousal harder to achieve. It can also lead to soreness, irritation, or small tears in the skin that may not even be noticed at first. But if that tissue becomes inflamed or damaged, future stimulation can become less comfortable, less enjoyable, and more stressful. This sets up a cycle that reinforces itself. But the good news is that it can be broken. The solution is gentleness. Try loosening your grip, even just slightly. If it feels unusual at first, that is perfectly okay. Your body may need a little time to adapt, but it will. Using a natural, unscented lubricant can help reduce friction and protect your skin. Focus on the way the experience feels, instead of trying to push toward a quick finish. Breathe deeply, relax your muscles. Think of this as a therapeutic massage for your most sensitive tissue. Something meant to keep it healthy, to support circulation, and to strengthen the connection between your body and your mind. The more you approach this time with patience and kindness, the more rewarding it becomes. You do not need to force pleasure. You only need to allow it under the right conditions. The third mistake might surprise you because it has nothing to do with the physical side of things. It has everything to do with your emotions. Ignoring the emotional side of self-pleasure is something many men have done for decades without realizing the cost. Because here is the truth. Emotions and hormones are deeply connected. Your thoughts, your memories, your stress levels, they all shape how you experience touch and arousal. For some men, this shows up as shame. Maybe you were raised to believe that masturbation was wrong, dirty, or something to hide. For others, it has more to do with the changes that come with aging, the way your body looks, the way it responds, the time it takes. These quiet thoughts become sources of stress. You start wondering if you are normal, if this is still okay. Instead of feeling comfort in the experience, you feel guilt, tension, or avoidance. But here's the reality. Emotions that are buried do not just vanish. They sit inside the body, in the breath, in the muscles, even in the way your blood flows. Over time, that emotional weight can create performance anxiety, disconnection from your body, or even depression. For many men, the loss of desire is not because their body cannot respond. It is because their heart no longer feels safe in the experience. The solution begins with compassion. Remind yourself, this is not about proving anything. It is not about performance. This is about connection, about healing, about taking care of yourself in a deeply personal way. And if you find that difficult, that is perfectly okay. Talking to someone can help. A therapist, a doctor, a friend you trust. There is nothing weak about asking for help. It is actually a sign of strength to open up about something this personal. You deserve to feel safe in your own body. You deserve to enjoy it, no matter your age. Being honest about your emotions can be one of the most powerful steps toward reclaiming that. Because this is not just about physical release. It is about respect. It is about dignity. And it starts with replacing shame with understanding. Now that we have gone through the 3 biggest mistakes, let's turn towards something hopeful. How to actually create a safe, healthy, satisfying practice for yourself. One that supports your health, honors your body, and truly feels good. Begin with simple cleanliness. Wash your hands. If you use any tools, cloths, or towels, keep them clean. Set up a space that feels calm and quiet, a place where you will not be disturbed. Use a natural, fragrance-free lubricant to protect your skin. And above all, listen closely to what your body tells you. If you notice pain, discomfort, swelling, sores, or irritation, do not push through it. Do not ignore it. These could be signs of something deeper, maybe inflammation, circulation problems, or even an issue with your prostate. A doctor can help. But when this practice is done gently, slowly, and mindfully, it becomes a source of health rather than a risk. And if you feel unsure, as though you are starting over after years of distance from your body, know this: it is perfectly okay. Many men rediscover their connection to themselves in their 60s or 70s. That is not regression. That is growth. That is learning what your body needs now, not what it needed decades ago. And there is so much beauty in that. You are not broken. You are not past your prime. You are simply entering a new stage of life, one that calls for more care, more patience, and more kindness. And when you give your body that kind of care, it responds in remarkable ways. So the next time you feel the urge, give yourself this gift. Not performance, not pressure, just presence. You deserve that. And if this video was helpful, please subscribe, because your body still matters, your pleasure still matters, and your confidence is worth protecting. Until next time, stay strong, stay curious, and take good care of yourself.